Yeah, hi all. Um, yeah, we are starting the third sessions from today. So mainly we will be discussing regarding networking, load balancing, and firewalls in Azure. So we are segregating, like we'll be discussing more about the networking part and also what are the services that are available, and we'll be discussing about the application protection services, connection services kind of thing. So the main intent, the main agenda is to introduce some services to you so that you can get into it and later you guys can work it on it actually. So mainly the focus is on network part and as well as that application protection part. Because if we set firewall, it is kind of protection services that we can enable in Azure. So Azure itself is providing a lot of services that enables us to protect our services and applications that we have already deployed in Azure. So it's a kind of set of services. So we'll be deep diving into it. So let me go to this our agenda. So mainly we will be covering the connectivity services as well as application services that comes under the network services in Azure. So I will be discussing a lot of things on this. So yeah, first of all, yeah, mostly this today's session will be something like discussing some concepts, and also we'll be putting some scenarios in between so that like you guys can relate those scenarios with the concept and services that we have, which will help you guys to understand those things very well. So yeah, in terms of connectivity services, it is mainly as the name suggests, it is like when that enables us to connect between the Azure resources as well as the on-premises resources, so that yeah, either we can use a single resource or a services or a combination that we can use that Azure is providing. Okay, so there are a lot of networking services provided by Azure. So either we can use anyone or we can use some combination. So mainly the intent is to establish the connectivity between the services that we have. So there are a lot of things like virtual VNet, yeah, VNet we already discussed. We have created a VNet and all. So yeah, similarly we do have a lot of different services as well. But virtual network is the basic, fundamental, and the main important component that we need to understand, and we already discussed that in the last sessions in the last week. So also there are different services like VPN Gateway, Virtual WAN, ExpressRoute, NAT Gateway. Yeah, there are a lot of services in that is establishing some connectivity in between the resources. And generally saying that when it comes to application protection services, it is like, yeah, definitely as the name suggests, it is for protecting the applications. So same as like whether we can like it's up to us whether we need to go with a single service or a combination of the service in Azure. So it's Azure itself is providing different services like load balancer, private link, DDoS protection, firewall, NSGs, different types. Yeah, obviously, like you guys will be like new to these terms, but we used to those words and like by those terms and get the idea of how it is, what it is, and all. So before jumping into that, those resources, I wanna give you some overview on the topic of network topology actually. So which means this is very important. Important in the sense these concepts are very much important that you have guys have to understand how it is like because currently we'll be discussing the main I think is the mostly used concept that we adopt in networking. So, Start. Okay. So yeah, we know that, right? VNet is something that we are using to isolate the network from the public network, right? So here we have a topology or an approach called hub and spoke. Do you guys ever heard about this hub and spoke?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. So, Abdullah, do you have any idea on what is this? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm audible, right, guys?
Yes,
Sir,
yes,
you're
you're
audible.
audible.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, hub and spoke, it is kind of topology. Yeah. In terms of network topology, there are there are a lot of different topologies that we have. There are we can adopt it to our infrastructure. So if you study, like if you are doing your masters or something, then you will be like getting knowledge into the network topology. So there are something like connecting the server, like the resources on the computers and all. So maybe mesh topology or star. There are different ways like connecting the resources in between. So basically, it is like connecting the resources or the services that we have. And network topologies means how we can connect, whether we need to have something like this, connecting like this, or something like a ring or something like that. So there are different kind of topologies. So we are not following those kind of topologies. Basically, we will be normally, most cases, we are using hub and spoke. So this is very much important concept actually. Even if you are going to take some interviews or like in terms of concepts or something, yeah, this is very much important. So hub and spoke is like, yeah, we already discussed now what is a VNet. VNet is something like a isolated network that we can deploy in Azure. So for example, VNet A. So I can deploy the resources or services inside this VNet, and which will not be able to access from outside unless and until we provide some rules that allows let them in. So for example, okay, let me this is the Azure actually. This is Azure. This is the boundary that we have. And let me, like, you guys can interrupt in between. So if you have any doubts or something. Okay. So this is Azure. And like I said, I created an isolated network, which is called a VNet in my Azure tenant. And here I have some, like I'll be having some resources. Basically, why I'm creating a VNet to deploy some resources, and I need to restrict the access. Like I need to isolate the environment with the public internet. So that's why I put everything in VNet. And similarly, I'll be having another VNet. Okay. So do you recall that terms like dev, UAT, prod, the environments that we have? Do you know what it is? I already covered it in the previous session. Like we will be having different versions of applications or something. That's what I'm referring to. Are you getting that? This environments.
Yes, sir, sir. Although I think I didn't cover this, but I have a basic idea.
Yeah, like the development, like testing will be done, production kind of things. Yeah. So yeah, I have another VNet here. Okay. For example, I have 3 VNets. So this is like VNet. I will call it as 1. This is VNet 2. This is VNet 3. Okay. So
And sorry for interruptions. And
yeah,
each VNet 2 subnets, right?
each VNet, yeah, we'll not discuss about subnets now. Yeah, that's depend upon the like that's depend upon the services that we will deploy. For example, if we have 10 services, okay, 10 services in this VNet, and we need 10 subnets each, then we can create. It is not like either we need to stick with the 2 subnet or 3 subnet. It is like how we need to segregate it. That's it. Okay, similar kind of resources we can put in same subnet, or we can like put in different subnet as well. No issues on that.
Okay. So you mean like there's management subnet and the
Yeah.
another
Server
subnet,
sub.
like
Yeah, correct.
it,
Yeah, correct.
so they may be like more than that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said. No, we may have, for example, we may have 100 services deployed in a single VNet. Okay, so to easily manage and to segregate those as per the type of the resource or the type of the service, we'll be deploying all those services in different subnets. So we may take, if we have 100 resources, we may take 50 subnets or 100 subnets or 10 subnets. That up to us. Okay, that up to us only how we need to approach it. Basically, what us doing is like whenever we are creating a subnet, we'll be putting like application wise or maybe the service type. Like, okay, we have some database, so we will put all the database in one subnet. We have some web services. Okay, we will put all web services in one subnet. Or we have some connections only that is referring to something somewhere else. Okay, then we will put all those into a single subnet. So like that kind of segregations normally do, and it's up to the architect and the organization. They can decide how they need to segregate. Is that
Okay, sir.
okay? Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So mainly, yeah, here I have production environment. Here also I have UAT. Okay. So this is like exact replica. Means whatever we have in the same thing we will have in production, and same thing we will have in UAT. Okay. So the services that we will have in VNet 1, VNet 2, VNet 3 will be similar, not change. Only there may be changes in the names. Like dev, something like we will mention dev here. Here we will mention prod, and here we will mention UAT, like that. Other than that, there will not be any changes. Okay. So exact replica, we can call it like that. Okay. So we have 3 minutes here. Here we have one is there. Okay. And how hub and spoke is working is this we can call it as hub. Okay. So why we are calling this as hub is we'll be putting only network services over here. Okay, only network services. Which means if someone, for example, we have a VM over here. Okay, in a subnet. We have another VM here in another subnet. Okay, we can call it as management subnet. This is something like server. Okay. So I need to take an RDP to this. I need to take an RDP. Okay. So what I need to do here?
Yes, sorry to interrupt. What
Yeah.
do you say you need to take in? I didn't get that.
RDP, remote desktop connection.
Okay.
Okay. So what we need to do, like if we are taking it from our local, we need to connect it using RDP, right? So RDP is basically on which port? 3389 port, correct? So when I'm saying network services, what happens is every request, whatever the request that it comes, it will firstly go to, okay, if I am accessing it using RDP, the connection will go to, first will go to here, okay, this unit, which means the RDP request firstly will reach into this VNet A only. Okay, it will not directly go to VNet 1. Earlier, what was happened? Like, yeah, the setup that we did in the last week, we are just accessing the RDP and we are directly hitting to this VNet, right? Here, what is happening is we do have another VNet. Okay, so this is a hub VNet. In this hub VNet, we will only have network kind of resources. Network kind of resources means firewall or kind of like something like we can call it load balancing. Those kind of things that we can have here. Okay, only network parts. No applications workload will be deployed in VNet A. Okay, so the hub network will have what? It is only having, it will contain only the network components, means a network host or whatever the services. So from here, okay, from this VNet only, the connections will go to this particular VNet 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
It's kind of guardhouse.
Yeah, we can call it like, and I will tell you what are the advantages and why we are taking this and all. Okay. So here we may have a firewall which restricts direct access to this, or filtering something like, okay, only if we have a on-premises and a set of users like in office, we can configure something like, okay, only the users who is working or who is having this domain or who is having this kind of IP address can come in. So we can configure those kind of things over here. So mainly the idea is like in a virtual network, what happens? It will host only Azure services that is related to networks. Okay. So every network components will be inside this. Okay. We will not deploy any application workloads in hub. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions on this?
No, sir. Not from my side.
Okay. And yeah. And here, this VNet 1, it is a spoke network. Spoke network means it is like mainly isolate and manage what different workloads. Okay, so we may have different subnets over there. We may have different kind of configuration in that, but even we may have some load balancer or something inside that. That's also fine. Okay, so we can include some network services as well in this spoke, but in hub we will not do any kind of workloads, application workloads or anything over here. It is only related to the type of services. Okay, type of the services, which means if we have a VM over here, okay, let's consider we have a VM over here. In this VM, we will not deploy any applications. Okay, any applications or something, we will not deploy. We will only deploy application that in those VMs which is created inside these VNets. Okay, these 4 VNets. Do you get me? Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. And so basically hub consists of all those network services. I'm saying network services. Okay. So even if we have a VM or a firewall or some load balancing kind of resources, whatever it may be, it only do the network part. So maybe it will redirect the traffic to somewhere, or it will filter something, or it will deny something, that kind of things. Okay, and in Spoke we'll have every workloads like the applications or the databases or the UI that we are getting, or maybe distribution of traffic, like using some load balancing kind of thing. That all we can do in Spoke. So the entire idea is like no direct public access will be there toward Spoke. Only traffic will come, every traffic will be directly hitting to this hub network only. Okay, this is
sorry to interrupt. If
Yeah.
I can take this example for is simple to understand. So there is a plug which has like 4 ports for charging. So that is hub, and then the chargers, every 4 of them that are connecting to the port are Spoke.
Yeah, we can, you can correct. You can take it as an example. So yeah, as you said, we have a plug over here, and we can connect an extension. Okay, extension. So we will have multiple plugs over here. We can connect to different devices to charge or whatever. So only the electricity will come through this now. So that is the only entry point. So this connection is not there, then this connection will not happen. So the connection is between this. So whatever the traffic, it will come like this. Okay. You get me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is simple to understand now.
Yeah. Okay. Now, and I need to, and yeah, there is one thing, which is if we, while we are accessing this VNet directly, only things is like here, for example, we have a public IP, we can access it directly, no issues. But how do they know? Like they need to go to this, like we'll be go to this. We are only putting, for example, a public IP or something here, or maybe a private IP or whatever. Yeah, how this traffic will go here. Like we are configuring whatever the traffic that is coming from outside the network that has to hit here. Okay, that's the road here. So whatever the traffic it is coming here, it will directly hit over here. And we have, this is an isolated network, right? This VNet is an isolated network. This is another isolated network. Correct. So like if we need to connect these two with VNets, okay, there is one concept called VNet peering. Okay, so remember that VNet peering, which means it will connect to VNets. So this VM can communicate with this VM or this VM. The traffic, then if we have a VNet peering in place, what happens is we can consider this as a single VNet. Okay. If we have a connection, if we have a VNet peering, then both the VNets will act like a single VNet, which means the resources that is deployed in the two VNets can connect easily. VNet peering is the technology, is the concept that we will use here. Similarly, we can apply to this VNet and this VNet as well. So VNet peering should be done in between. That's how hub and spoke networks are connected. Okay, the hub will be connected to every spoke that we have. So this is the hub one, and these are the spoke. Any questions on this? This should.
No, sir. No,
So,
sir.
sir, so the VNet, I mean, the VNet pairing like connects at the same, I mean, connects with VNet 1 separately or at the same point with all?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you repeat?
So, I mean, the VNet A connects with the VNet 1 with through the VNet pairing, right?
Yeah.
So it connects like separately or I mean connects with all at the same time?
Means you are mentioning all the other VNets, or?
Yeah, I mean, does it connect like step by step, like first connect with VNet 1 and then VNet 2, or it connects with all VNets at the same point, at the same time?
I can say like this. So VNet peering is something like a two-way traffic. Okay, two-way traffic, which means it will allows traffic forwards and backwards. So this will be the one connection link. If we are enabling an VNet peering, we need to enable this traffic and this traffic as well. So we need to enable both the traffics while we configuring a network peering. So it depends on only this networks. If we need to establish a VNet peering to VNet 2, we need to create another, like we need to configure another, like we need to mention, okay, you can allow traffic to this and you can allow traffic to this. Every time when we are creating a VNet peering, we need to configure this. So it will be like separately, like they don't have any dependencies in between. So if we have a VNet peering from VNet A to VNet 1 and VNet 1 to VNet A, then the services will be able to connect. Okay, so there is two-way traffic, one way this one and back. If we are enabling only one way, then this can go here, but this can't come here. For that, we need to enable this also. Get me? It's a two-way kind of traffic. For example, this taking this to as an island. This is an island, and this is another island. Then you can call it as a bridge. Like the traffic will be here, come here and go there, so that it is a bridge that connecting to islands. You can call it like that. Okay. For example, if this connection is only having a one-way traffic, which allows here from here, then the others can't come in, right, to this. So it's like we can configure how the pairing should be. Either they need to allow both the traffic or a single.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is very important one. Very important means in the entire journey, not here as well, and in your career as well. Like you will be like getting this kind of scenarios later, and this is the concept that you guys have to understand. This is the kind of architecture and topologies that we will be using in different environments. Environments means different organizations. Their cloud infrastructures will be configured like this. So they will have a hub VNet, they will have different spoke VNets. So the spoke VNets mainly we will have that for different environments, the prod, UAT, but everything will be a like copy of the spoke. So it will be like similar thing, but it will only have one VNet. Okay, as hub. And also there is another scenario or another one. For some organization, they may have a hub, okay, which is provided by a third party. There are some like hub providers, so they may use that also. And we need to only take care of the spoke environments that we have. Okay, so only we need to like configure the spokes. Hub will be taken care by different vendor or something. That also happens. Okay. So this is a like real life, real industry kind of aspect. Either we will be using hub and spoke, like that is entirely managed by us, or maybe there are situations like the hub is managed by someone else and the spokes are managed by us. These also will be there according to the organization and the compliances that they have. Okay. So shall I move forward? I hope you got it.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We can move forward.
And yeah, regarding the connectivity services, we do have different kind of services. So yeah, we have virtual network manager. Virtual network manager is something like that we are using to manage different VNets. And like it's kind of what it's a kind of management service that we can group and configure this virtual network easily. That's what it is. What is this virtual network manager? Okay, so we can manage different networks altogether. We can configure it from here. We can create a group. We can deploy, and so this is the one of the solution that we can that is capable of doing that kind of activities, like either to grow or configure or deploy or manage virtual networks. Okay, for that we can use Azure Virtual Manager. So we can mention different groups and using that. Yeah, I'll be giving an idea, a pictorial idea also, so that you guys will get an idea. And I'll share the link, the Microsoft documentation itself, so that you guys can go through it and like read it and understand it a little bit well. So Azure Virtual Network is something like we can, as I said, we can manage the network as a group or something like that. And ExpressRoute is something like that is mainly for a connectivity to our on-premises as well. Because, for example, we have an office in New York or somewhere, and we do have some resource deployed in Azure. ExpressRoute is one of the capability that we can use to connect between that on-premises as well as the cloud. Okay, so it will provide the connection will be private, and yeah, I'll come to that. Okay, this is one of the kind of service that we have. Okay, all are connectivity services. So we try to remind that. The next is like there is VPN Gateway. So VPN Gateway is something like that helps us to establish connections in between different virtual networks and all. Same as like ExpressRoute. So either we can connect to a like on premises, or we need to connect to a cloud. Like virtual gateway will help us. So it will establish different kind of connectivity, side to side, point to side, VNet to VNet kind of things. So it will be helpful for us to establish different connections. Okay. So these two are mainly for establishing connection between on premises as well as mainly on premises. Okay. We can, if we have an office or something, then we can configure these two services, either of one, or we can configure a combination as well, so that we can establish the connection between on-premises as well as the cloud. So the connection will be established in between. And the other is like it's a virtual WAN. It's also a networking service that that will brings a lot of networking security and different routing functionalities. So actually, you don't need to like do all these things, like you need to configure all this, but like just understand what all it is. So somewhere if you heard about virtual WAN or VPN gateway or ExpressRoute, you need to know what it is, like for what purpose we are using them. Okay, so I'll explain. I'll give you an idea with the help of diagrams too, so that you guys will easily get that idea. Azure DNS is something like we heard about DNS. DNS is something like domain name system. So for example, we have google.com. Google.com. This is a DNS. So what happens is if we search for DNS, it will look in the server of Google, and it will be like they will reply what they have. So there are a lot of internal things happening in this. But similarly, we have DNS in Azure, so that we can use the same capability like how that google.com is working. Okay. Normally, what will happen is like one IP will be associated to this google.com. It will be pointing to this google.com. So that IP, for example, 192.96.1. So this IP will look into this, and it will fetch the details from that IP, and then it will give back to us. So similarly, we can configure some names here. Okay, DNS names like Guruschools.com or Guruschools.net or whatever. Okay, so it is like that kind of service that we have. Azure Bastion is something like currently we are using RDP, right? Remote desktop connection. So we can use the same with the help of browser itself. Currently, we are using a utility that we have in our laptop. So we are searching RDP and we put the username, sorry, the IP, and then the username and password, then we will access that, right? So here what will happen is like we will be able to access the RDP services in the browser itself. Okay, we can use it as a tab. So it is that kind of service that we have. It is also something related to a network like connectivity, so that we can establish a connection between a resource that we have in our VNet. Okay, so I'll explain that. I will give you an idea on with the help of diagram as well, so that we will be able to understand that. And the last is like NAT Gateway. NAT Gateway is like we said no, like if we have a VNet and we are like we have a connection to the NAT Gateway, then what happens is the private IP will be converted to public IP. So that is like that. So yeah, I'll quickly go through those pictures as well? Okay, this is what Azure Virtual Network Manager is. So it will do what we can like manage different virtual networks. See here, 3 different networks are there, right? So we can easily manage virtual networks using Virtual Network Manager. So mainly that is the capability that we can achieve then when we have an Azure Virtual Network Manager. Okay, so mainly if we need to create a multiple, for example, 3 VNets or 4 VNets, we can easily create it with the help of Azure Virtual Network Manager. And it will help us to do easily. So, okay. So I just understand it is a service and how what it is used to do. Okay. Normally we don't need to use this a lot, but it will help us to manage this virtual networks easily. Just try to understand this. Okay. Because it will help us to create that hub and scope also. So multiple VNets we can create easily by using this virtual manager. Normally, if we need to create a VNet, we will go there and then we will create VNet, right? Here, what happens, right? We will get a window that we can create multiple VNets. We can provide different address space and all, so that we can create easily.
Sir, I had a question.
Yeah, just go.
So this virtual network manager, it is useful for clients in what sense? Like they are moving from on-premises to cloud. That is when this comes in use, or how?
No. Yeah. Here we discussed. Yeah, here we have how many VNets? VNet A1, VNet 2, 3. Total 4 VNets we have here, right? Normally,
Yes.
yeah, when we are going to VNet, like we need to create a VNet, we need to go to Azure portal, we need to search VNet and we can create a VNet. So it will only provision one VNet only, okay? But the VNet manager, what can do is, it can create 4 VNets simultaneously. That's the capability. So the on-premises connection or whatever, that's a different case. It is not related to that. It is related to managing the virtual networks. Okay, we can configure VNet peerings, all those kind of things we can do with the help of virtual network manager. Do you get that?
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the ExpressRoute, which means, see, here we have customized network, right? Customer network means we can call it as on-prem, which means the office or somewhere. It is in New York or somewhere. So there will be a connection to Azure, so that either we can deploy the resources and manage. So a connection, this will be a private connection. Okay, so this ExpressRoute connection will be a private connection, which allows us to manage, like to establish a connection in between. So it will help us to connect the resources that we have in on-premises with the resources that we have deployed in the cloud. So it will be a dedicated connection, and like there will be a dedication connection which is encrypted as well. Okay, so with the ExpressRoute, we can establish a connection to the Microsoft Cloud Services like Azure 365 or whatever we have. Okay, so basically it will be a connection, that dedicated connection. And why we are using ExpressRoute is like it will help us to like a more bandwidth in the sense, if they are using a huge data and all, there will be bandwidth issues, right? So, and if like it's a large organization and all, they can use ExpressRoute. Okay. Otherwise, like we don't need ExpressRoute. We can establish the same connectivity between like same connectivity with the different services. So mainly ExpressRoute is using for large workspaces. Also, those who are using lot of data or lot of bandwidth and all. Okay, so there will be connection as well. Just understand what is ExpressRoute. That's it. Any questions is there? Then just ask. Okay, feel free to ask.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Next, okay. Next is like next is VPN Gateway. Yeah, here we can see, right, on premises we have. So here we have different IP addresses and different IPs. So there will be a tunnel that allow us to communicate. So it is like an encrypted connection, similar same as ExpressRoute, and it will enable us to connect in different ways, like site to site, which means two sites will be connected. Okay, there are different type of connection, site to site. Okay, then point to site and VNet to VNet. Okay, so it is like the it will not support a huge bandwidth, but if we need to connect a laptop or a two laptop or something like that, then we can use VPN Gateway. So it will create an encrypted connection between different VNets or a point to a different site or between two sites. But the thing is, we can't like it can't handle a huge bandwidth. That's it.
So, sir, the difference between ExpressRoute is that it is just for private purpose only, right?
No. Both are for private purpose, but this will not support a huge bandwidth. For example, if there is an organization which is having 100 data scientists, they'll be creating a lot of big data kind of things, and that definitely they have a lot of data to be transmitted over the network. So it will like they need a lot of like a huge bandwidth, right? So in that times, like this VPN gateway will not work because that speed and the bandwidth that it's supported will be less than the ExpressRoute. So that's why we the main difference between VPN gateway and ExpressRoute. Okay, and
Yes, sir.
and also yeah, there are organizations that they are using both as well. Like they will be using mainly ExpressRoute, but in times of any failure or something, they can use it this VPN gateway as a secondary. Okay, that's also they will do. So yeah, in my previous experience, like there are data scientists who are working from like their offices, so they are accessing the resources that are deployed in cloud. So they have an ExpressRoute and this kind of gateway as well. Because if something happens to ExpressRoute, at least they will have a reserve connection to the cloud. That's why they used a combination of that. Okay, if we are only connecting, for example, I am connecting, or I only need to connect, or two users only need to connect something that is not using much bandwidth and all, then VPN gateway should be. Got it? This is an example of actually site to site. Okay. Then other is virtual WAN. Virtual WAN means it is mainly for kind of establishing some kind of routing functionalities as well. So we can connect VNets, and we can like it will support branch kind of connectivities, so that also it will enable site to site, or if some user is accessing from remote, see this user is accessing, so different kind of scenarios it can support. So this virtual WAN will be like it can be able to handle ExpressRoute, VPN Gateway, and all. Okay, so this is it is kind of hub that we can go, like every here we see ExpressRoute, right? ExpressRoute is there. Here site to site VPN is there. Here point to site VPN is there. So all these connections can be managed with the help of what? Virtual WAN. So every connections can be configured here, and from here we can route to which connection, which where they need to go, like that kind of configurations that we can use. Okay, so it is kind of like managing things in one hand, one place. Okay, like all of these are concepts and like different services, but like just understand what it is. Okay, because in a project, maybe from the start only, maybe you need to do this, and mainly the L3 level or the highest level people will do this. Okay, so in a project you may like you don't need to configure this much. Mainly you need to configure this resources, virtual machines, app services, storage accounts, Kubernetes, those kind of things. Okay, because this will be done mostly from the initial state of the project, because the connection has to be happen, all those things will be done initially. So we don't need too much worry on that part. Actually, just understand what it is to as part of the fundamental knowledge that you must have. Okay. And yeah, this is the Bastion that I said. We can access, see, Azure Bastion is a service. Here we have different VMs, right? So we can, 3389 is a RDP, correct? So we can use this RDP in a web browser, that's it. Instead of using, RDP, yeah. Yeah, this is the application that we are using to connect RDP, right? So instead of this, we can use our Chrome or web, like our Edge or Mozilla Firefox to take a connection to this VM. That's what Azure Bastion is. Okay.
Okay. Instead of application, we can use the web thing.
Yeah, correct. Because
Okay.
here the port is 3389 and it will be converted to 443. Okay. In RDP, we are using 3389. Okay. Or for SSH, we are using 22 port. Okay. But it will be converted to 443 and we will be using it via what? Any browser. Okay. So there are two protocols, 80 and 443. These protocols mainly we will be accessing using web browser. Okay. So this RDP will be converted to 443 so that we can access it from there. Okay. So that's a service that we have. Yeah, if you have any questions, just ask. Okay, you can elaborate it for you. And yeah, any questions?
And also the course, I mean the 443 for the for the Azure Bastion and for 8, you said like for RDP 883, right?
For RDP, it is 3389. And the last
Okay, so I mean,
we discussed.
so okay, so does this course like it just like refer to I mean, does this course like get in used in anywhere, or I mean just for reference, or just for I mean it's just for remembering the service?
Yeah, it is for
Like, does
remembering the
code have
service.
to do
Yeah,
with anything?
it is remembering the service, because
Okay, okay.
there may be uh, yeah, I'll give the idea that is. Give me a second. Yeah, I'll show. So it's a service that I said no. It is converting this W389 to 443. So sometimes what happens, right? Some company will not allow you to take this port, okay, to open this port. Then what happens? We can't take RDP, right? Because to take RDP, this 3389 port has to be opened. But the company is saying, yeah, we can't we can't give you this 3389. So in that case, what we can do? We can use Azure Bastion, so that what we can access the servers using the Chrome tab that we have. So that kind of request we make it.
Okay, okay. So basically, it is just a code request. That's it.
Yeah, it is kind of an alternate service that we have to access the service that we have. So currently it is like normal remote desktop connection will be happened using RDP like 3389 port. So if that they are not allowing us to take it, then we have some different perspective that we need to approach, right? So for that, actually Azure version will help you. So we can access the VM using 443.
Okay, okay.
It's like that. It's a Azure Bastion service. Okay. And NAT Gateway we already discussed earlier, like whether we have like a local network or network and all. Using NAT Gateway, what we can do inside a network, actually we have what private IPs, right? So this private IP can be converted to public IP used with the help of NAT gateways. So some routers and all will support this. We can also configure NAT gateway as well if we need to establish some connectivity to output connectivity or something. Yeah, here When I click virtual machines, yeah, I'll create one and I'll show you one. I'm creating it for just your reference. And give me username and password as well. And here, yeah, here 338. Yeah, how much like here we can see, right? 443, 22, that 389. So they are saying we can't enable RDP. Then what we need to do? We need to allow 443. Okay, this is the concept that we have here in Azure Bastion. See, 443 can be achieved. Okay, we can enable this 443 and we can access the VM. So here, yeah, we can select that. So see all the traffic when will block by default, you will be able to, like, we can configure this 443 port here. So if you go and create, I'm creating it right away because I don't need to spend time on networking. I'm just deployment is in progress. And both of you just use this, okay, to create resources, VM and all in Azure. Just watch that recordings and then try to replicate the same so that you guys will be able to understand it. If you are doing, like, if you are not doing it with your hands, then it will make issues. Yeah, Abdullah.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, like just do it, okay, by hands. Like you need to be put in hands on, then only you guys will remember things. Otherwise, no, you will forget all. Just do it with your hands.
So I will be working on creating my Azure portal. Do you think I should do it already now?
Yeah. Do you have any trial accounts?
No, no.
Okay, no issues. Like I shared one link now. You can refer it, and from there you can see this link. So it will give us a sandbox for 1 hour.
Okay.
You don't need to go for subscription as well. Okay. I'll share it once again. I already share it in the group, but I'll share it. So here, yeah, VM is there now. Since there VM, yeah, we need to connect to the VM, right? So here is the option connect. Here you can see connect by Bastion, right? So this we can use. Or here also we have one like connect Bastion. One option is there. So for example, if we select Bastion, then it will ask us to create something. Okay, we need to provide a password alone. So username and password. Password. So it will create a Bastion, and then see the VMS coming out, right? See, this is VM. The server that we have. Earlier, we used to go to RDP, remote desktop connection. But here we are getting that in the browser. This is a difference. You get to have an idea of this? This
Yes, sir. And what about the first one, sir? I mean the 81.
81 means, yeah. Actually, 80 is something like a protocol that, like here, if you see, you will see connection is secure. Okay. Which means it is following HTTPS. There are different protocols, secured one and also not secured. So 80 is not secured. Okay, unsecured actually. So no one will suggest you to take it actually. So that here, while we're creating VM, we can use 80, but with the help of 80, we, like Azure Bastion will not support us to access with the help of 80. So if we are deploying some services, okay, to the 80 port, then we will get it. That's how it is.
Okay. But mainly like RDP and
RDP is for, yeah, RDP SSH,
okay.
then
SSH and this. Okay.
yeah,
This
yeah,
three
then Bastion.
in general. Okay.
Yeah. So normally, yeah, basically for for Windows server, RDP will be there, 339. For Linux servers, SSH will be there, 22nd port. And yeah, in some cases, we will be using Azure Bastion as well, which is having 443 port. Okay. This will be the three the maximum that we 80 port we will not normally use. It is for the devices and yeah. We'll do one more thing. I am like changing this as a server, okay? Means a web server. So for that, we need to go to manage, add roles and features. Here next. Here we need to select web server, add features. Next. All next.
So we are just upgrading it.
Yeah, we are just creating it as a web server. So we will be able to get that this thing. That you remember that window that we have.
Yeah, I mean we did the same thing in the last session as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we have okay, we have a duplicate. Actually, this is how a Windows server is converting as a web server. Okay. If you are like whenever you are doing your exercise, just try it out and change the page that we have. And so you will be handy on that part.
Sir, we are doing this in Windows, right? But what
Yeah.
about like in Linux? Like, how to do in Linux? You know, I mean, is it like used in generally, or just like we'll use like Windows for most of the time?
That depends on the client. And in Linux, we will have Nginx server. Okay, here it is IIS server. Okay, so both are different servers, different kind of servers actually.
Okay.
Here it is IIS server. See, there is IIS server. Okay, there we will have Nginx. So yeah, I know. Yeah, this is the PNG file they have, right? Okay. Okay, I just created it. And let me, okay, what is public IP? Okay, this is a public IP.
And also, sir, what can we access through this server, like web server?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I mean, what can we access through this server, like in general, web server?
Yeah, like this is for like this is now promoted as a web server, right? So we can create a website and we can put, publish over here. So we will be able to get it using this IP.
Okay,
So
okay. We
yeah,
can put something on website as well.
yeah, like a website. Just for example, if
Okay.
we have a website like this, right? Similarly, we
Yeah.
can code something and we can put it in that folder. Folder means here we have one folder now. That is server administration actually. So here we will have a folder called Windows C inet pub www. So inside this, if we are configuring something like we are changing something, then we will get it over that thing, that window that we have. So it will act
Okay.
as a website. So if we need to change something and we need to provide something, yeah, it will give you to launch a web service or something. See, if we are changing that to a different thing, then we will get it. That's how that is working. Okay, I just show you this how we can like configure Bastion. The last session we just did it and we are able to get it with the help of what public IP. Here something is restricting, means the configuration. Here we just created a VM, right? We didn't configure anything there. So we didn't allow anything and all. So that we need check. Actually, that's why this is here we are not getting that. Otherwise, we'll be getting the similar image like the server that we got on the last session. Okay, use this. Use this one, and you just try it on hands up. Then, like you will get more doubts. You can clear it out, and it will help you to like understand things well. Otherwise, like it's kind of like doing nothing will not give you anything. Okay. I'm just removing this also for now. Okay, any questions, bro?
So, sir, later on in coming sessions, are we going to create, I mean, in hub thing, are we going to create the firewalls and load balancer or something?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll be doing something. Yeah, definitely. We'll be creating that. Yeah, this week we'll first of all we'll just share in the concepts, then we will do the answer. Otherwise, like we will be like
Yeah.
I don't know, like we'll be new to that, right? We will not get it.
Yeah.
That's why, like
Yeah. So today, like we work on like I mean in last session we just go through the RDP, but in this session like we find like different ways to get into the virtual machine. So we have gone through the what do you call
Bastion,
the
Bastion.
web server
Yeah.
by Bastion. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how like it's important to attend every session because today we discuss this now. Actually, this is
Yeah.
not part of the today's agenda, but like we covered it because like yeah, like this we will be like exploring new things.
Okay.
Abdullah, just go through the videos that we have already, right? So then it will help you to get more idea on that. And you have any questions or something, just ask. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said I'll do watch the videos tomorrow, and tomorrow morning I will go through the link and create.
Okay.
I can do the exercise.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for this, okay, it will help you. And you can use 10 sandboxes per day. So just need to validate it and then once, yeah, remember, after 1 hour, whatever the resources we created, it will be deleted, okay? It will be managed by default. We can't restrict that. So, yeah, definitely for the first time, you may take some issues. Like you may, like you can't finish it in 1 hour also, that's also fine. Because I am used to this interface and all, so I can work with it and create easier. But definitely it will be a little bit tough for you guys to find it and whatever the options that we have in do. So just go through it. And we used to do this. That's what I want to say. And yeah, tomorrow like will be mostly. Sorry, the next session will be mostly creating those VMs and also the load balancing, that kind of things that we will do. So be sure, like be ready for that. So before that, also like both of you just started with your hands-on and finishing things. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you guys to follow. Because from the next week we will be having like different perspectives. So you guys will struggle otherwise. Okay, try to put 100%, then you'll be able to achieve. That's it for today. Do you have any questions or something?
No, sir, not from my side.
And from Abdullah, do you have any?
No, sir, no, sir. I'll just go through the videos tomorrow, and
Okay.
hopefully I'll be on the same page by Wednesday.
Okay. Cool. Then that's it.